Okay, so let's, I like to make sure, yeah.
Okay to film?
Of course. Post it, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't care about anything.
God damn it, Matt.
What's that?
You didn't get my consent. I was rolling that fast.
Yeah, no, that is, some people say no, I don't understand it, but that's for them. So, let's talk about Alan's wrists. Most joint locks, whether it be an arm bar, a knee bar, a wrist, we want to control the joint above and below the one that we're attacking. Wrists are a little weird because it's got all these little joints, and we're not actually trying to control that. So we need to make sure that we really control where the wrist is, where the elbow is. So far, so good? So, there's a million different ways to control the elbow. We're going to talk about wrist locks in general first, and then I'm going to approach it not from a wrist lock class, but from a class of using wrist locks to inspire movement. Okay? You like the inspire movement?
Amen.
Yeah. Like when I say inspire movements, I mean if I took my elbow and put it right here, that would inspire him to move, right? Maybe not. All right. So the two things I want you to get from this class: one, that we need to control where the elbow is whenever we're attacking wrists, and we need to control it well. Second, and maybe even more important, is directional pressure. Okay. So if we take his wrist, and he's got let's say this is a strong, good posture wrist, right? If I want to break the posture of his wrist so I can start to wrist lock him, would you all agree, yeah, actually make it longer so I can show this. Would you all agree that my first pressure would be this way, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then if I break down his posture, now that it's here, now the angle of pressure that's most appropriate to continue the wrist lock is at this angle, right? Mm-hmm. The angle has changed by 90 degrees, right? And so on, right? If I want to take this wrist and I want to bend it all the way back to the forearm, which is what essentially I'm trying to do, well then eventually it's almost going to be pointed back at me. So the way that we translate our weight into the wrist matters greatly. Some people, you could put, I'm putting all this weight here, and it's on the frame here, and it's like, eh, whatever, right? So we want to make sure that we understand how we're using weight against this wrist. Make sense? Control the elbow, understand how you're using weight against the wrist. That's basically it, okay? We're gonna get into our first wrist lock, and we're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do two wrist locks, and then we're gonna get a little funky. I'll never do that again, I'm so sorry. That's gonna be on YouTube. All right. I like to attack the wrist from the opposite side. Almost always I'm using a wrist to make somebody move. I mean, that's realistically what I'm doing. If I catch them and they tap, that's cool. My brand of jiu-jitsu is painless, precise, and playful. The wrist locks can be playful, and I want to apply them so that they have an opportunity to tap. If I can't, because if we were rolling really hard and it's world championships and I'm getting paid a ton of money, yeah, I'm just gonna drop on this bitch, right? But I love Alan. I don't want to do this to him, right? So I'm going to apply, and if he's in that space, able to move his elbow or something, great, that's good. I don't need that L on the mat on a Thursday or whatever, right? So what we're gonna do is we're just going to sit in a side control here, okay? And there's a bunch of ways into this. That's not what I'm talking about right now. I just want to show the expression of weight onto the wrist, okay? So I'm gonna find the top of his wrist on the center of my chest. I'm going to pinch the elbow so it's very difficult to move while adding weight. Now, when I had a finger, it was super easy to understand which direction my weight should go. When it's on your chest, it's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more nuanced. That's why I want to work from here, is I would like you guys to start to feel, okay, which direction, how do I want to apply my weight? Well, if I'm all the way over here, I know I'm not hitting the wrist in the way that I want to. But perhaps if I come back and then, oh, I can kind of feel it here. And as I go, I see that it's kind of bending. It's kind of, okay, good. I got that response. So from a different angle, perfect. I'm gonna hop on your good wrist. From a different angle, I can start here. And then I want you to just play light and gently and figure out, okay, there it is, right? And see how that weight is expressing downward and at what angle it's expressing downward, okay? Painless, precise, and playful. Precise. Understand how your chest is pushing down into the lever here. Make sense? Let's grab a partner and give that a shot. 1, 2, 3. What I want to happen in this class, but questions about, or challenges that we had with how we felt on using our chest. Yeah?
We wondered if there was like an angle we should be going for, or if it's straight on.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. So, most of the time, what I think about doing, if I'm doing a wrist lock in this direction, it actually doesn't necessarily matter what direction I'm going, but we're speaking about this direction. So, I think about taking these knuckles and bending this in half to here. So, no matter where he is in space, at least in this one, I want to apply my weight so this gets bent. So, not really, I guess, the long-winded is.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, perfect. Let's move on. So we're gonna go to guard, and like I said, this is gonna be the second one, and then we're gonna get like a little funky with it. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to face this way for sure. Ooh, this is gonna be weird to film.
Just do like that right now.
Yeah,
I'll readjust.
180 degrees. That's 90. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna be in guard. Okay. From guard, is this your? Oh, perfect. What are the things that we need to apply a wrist lock? Just deadpan, right away, had it fucking set. I love it. Okay, so in guard scenario, most of the time, I'm trying to trap it at my hip, bringing my leg up, and so it runs into the hip. Does that make sense? So I might be playing with an arm drag, I might be playing with double wrist control. This is not something that I'm like, doop, 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 right? I'm just trying to figure it out. In the second that I just cheat to a hip, right, not just flat, just cheat to a hip and bring that leg up just a little bit, I create a wall, okay? So now here comes a little bit of a trick, kind of going to your question. When I have that wall, I'm gonna grab, I think Heather just talked about the meat of the hand. I'm gonna grab the meat of the hand and I'm gonna give it a nice little rotation first, okay? Rotation tends to take the slack out of whatever you're attacking, okay? So if he can bend, without rotation, if he can bend this far, when you add rotation, it's less that he can bend. Making just a little bit of shift, hitting a wall, grabbing the meat, rotating, curling in. I want that wall to be a good wall. Curling in, grabbing, and then down. When I say down, at this point it's down. However, depending on the person's wrist, why is your thumb sticking up like that? Are you trying to get a ride or something? What? Look at that. All right, anyway. So it's down, but then once it's here, it's kind of back to me. And I have to realize that. So it's not just rah, right? It's down and then back in. And you see how I'm kind of using my body as a crunch? So again, really simple. We're just kind of playing guard. Maybe it's 2 on 1, maybe it's something. The second that I cheat and his elbow's here, create a wall. Okay? Now, he might think I'm going for something. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? I'm going to grab that meat, rotate, down first, and once it's down, think about, okay, well, it's no longer this direction that I need to go. It's no longer this direction. I want to start to go this direction. So you have to understand how you're applying that pressure. And the second, so feel the difference, Alan, between down and then bringing it at the correct angle. Okay? You guys are doing a wonderful job talking with your partners. I think for whatever reason, if we're not having fun, we're like, "Ooh," you know, we don't ask for opinions. How was that? How was that? No ego. We're losing out a ton. You guys are doing great. I see you like discussing, laughing, having a good time. Keep doing that. Okay? I'm gonna do it from a different angle, probably all the angles. Real quick, so it's pretty easy. We're playing. Shift off. Grab. I have a wall here. Okay? Once I grab, down, and then, oh, I know now I have to try to put it on the wrist. Okay? Wall, inside the hip, down, back to the wrist. Couple questions, yeah?
What's helping you keep the elbow in the wall? Because I got a small wall.
Wow.
God damn. Making this so hard, it's like T-ball, man. So, another guy who has a small wall. Megan, are you here? All right, so this here, I'm putting in the pocket of my hip. And then I'm curling in. Other side, getting this grip, and they're applying the wrist lock towards the gap, towards my ding dong here, and it's easy to pull down. Okay, so they were saying, well, what's stopping you from doing that? Well, if you're applying the pressure here, it can be easy to slip. Okay, however, I'm gripping like this and rotating his elbow to the outside, and then bringing it down and finishing. So when I'm applying pressure, it's forcing his elbow into the wall, as opposed to straight down. If I'm playing guard, and I know this person really likes to pass to this side, let's say, I get I think Charles calls this the cone. Is it the cone? Or taco? No, taco's foot, yeah. So we'll use his grip. We'll say Charles's grip, the cone grip, okay? So I'm gonna get a grip right along the knuckles, right below him, okay? I'm not grabbing wrist, I'm not grabbing hand, I'm grabbing right there. I'm not grabbing like your uncle used to do to like, you know, squeeze your knuckles together. I'm just attaching myself, okay? So just attachment, you don't have to be strong at all. Now we're gonna play a really silly game. Go ahead and get rid of that. I could talk to you, this isn't any strength, create a wedge to knock it off. Okay, not hard, not anything. Grab right at the knuckle, attach. So I'm just going, okay. That's what got you?
Sorry.
All right, rotate you just a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna work on just that grip, but why is this important in a wrist lock class? So anybody ever do like that stupid like wave? I didn't actually expect it to go back. Oh my God. That's essentially what I do with his arm. However, so if he's trying to pass, he's doing all this stuff. If the second that I do that, I go up, snap down, look at where his wrist is, right? Now, I'm certainly not going to finish a wrist lock like this, but he's also not coming forward, right? So try to come forward. Come on, buddy. It stalls him from coming forward. Okay, so constantly, oh, you all right? All right. I'm constantly doing that. So I'm just trying to create a break in the posture of the wrist. It's really weird for him to have to get like this and then figure this out. Okay? So again, and we're gonna kind of play with this depending on how you guys get this piece of it. But for now, get the grip. You can play whatever guard you want and have that person try to pass to that side. Good? fucking annoying. That's it. We're gonna start there, okay? So, grab, or think about this wave to get that posture broken. And then if you don't want them to come, bad cat. Push right back into them, okay? You guys are laughing. This shit, I do this all the time, every fucking row, because it's so annoying. Well, now it's gonna get a little weird. It's already gotten weird. Okay, so I don't just use this as like an annoyance. Like, I will use this to sweep. Like, look at my body position currently, right? Like, it looks like I'm in a butterfly guard, or, you know, I'm just being lazy. I get this up and then push. You'd be surprised how much this works. Come back. So I'm just hanging out, living the dream, doing jiu-jitsu. And if, like, Alan, there's like, I'm not squeezing hard at all. I'm just attaching. If he tries to pull out, maybe I'll squeeze a little bit. But I'm not trying to put off, like, red flags going crazy, right? It's just here. And if he's not worried about this, then there's not a ton of tension in the wrist. If he's thinking about it, you can start squeezing, making a fist, changing the angle of it, which is good for him, but also I'm still driving the bus here. Okay, so like if he's trying to pass my guard, if he's trying to pass my guard, I still have this to kind of move. Even if he's making that fist or if he's changing the angle, okay? But if we're here and we're playing, the second that I get this grip and I feel like, oh, that wrist is kind of loose. And once it's there, you ready? All I do is think about, I don't actually try to think, I've done this enough, but really think about the direction that I want to express the pressure, okay? I kind of want him to go this way. Not just straight back, but to the side. I want his elbow to be like this. So he sits back, okay? So we're just here. Nothing to see here, folks, right? The second that I feel that his wrist is not tense, then I'm snapping it down and pushing in. Who's coming up? Okay? We're running out of time, so I'm gonna make that a short one. Let's play with that and see if we can make that work. Rotate 180 degrees again. So much fun. So I have my grip and I'm pushing. So whatever way his elbow goes. Okay, it went here. Now I know directionally that I'm going to push out. So I'm sorry, this way. Right? So flare your elbow up. Then I'm going to come this way. Right? It's not the same angle because he didn't give me that same angle, but it's the same principle, okay? My direction changes, all I'm trying to do is fold this here. Make sense? Yeah, does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
I had the same one.
Same one, beautiful. Okay, go down. Real quick, because I only have a couple minutes and we have a ridiculous thing to do. Half guard. Not knee shield, doesn't totally matter, but not knee shield. I don't try to win underhooks. You're never gonna believe what I do from here. I grab and start pushing. Look at what happened. He flattened out. What did I want him to do? So silly. So instead of trying to fight this game that everybody knows, I'll fight this one, which by the way, you can also do. Okay? I'll fight this one, get this one. Look what, oh my God, that was so easy. And now I have him here, and I'm just gonna understand the way that I'm pushing. Okay? And now he's flat. Now I can go chest to chest if I want and start like passing that way, or I can do whatever I want. Or if we want to go full circle, I'm up. Golly.